Follow all those links at the end of it, and then you'll hear us on the other side. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finals of the WCG Eastern National Finals. And it is between our two players. In the top right of Daybreak, we have Combat X as the pink Protoss.
All right, Combat X. And he is going against our Terran player, our blue Terran player. It is Killing Spree's Alexei Moi.
So a TVP for you fans of esports, for you lovers of StarCraft 2. The opening builds for these players probably won't tell us too much.
But no, it does actually. Combat X always dropped the pylon in his base.
That's true. So now we know that Combat X has decided not to go for proxy play, which he has been a fan of. But he's probably decided to do that now because he can't afford to slip up. I mean, this is the grand finals. It's a best of 5, but every loss is it's a pretty deep hole to climb out of. You definitely want to just stay on top of your opponent and keep that advantage.
For those who didn't know, Combat X actually was at the Toronto finals as well, which he put up a very good fight against Henderless. With Henderless winning 3-2. So now here he is again. He is trying out a second time for that trip to China.
Yeah, so will this be his lucky chance? He did get 2 shots at this tournament to get that free trip to China. So will he be successful here, or will Alexei Moi squash his dreams and join the ranks of Henderlisk and Firezerg to fly all the way to China and play internationally? That would be extremely exciting for either player, really. So I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
Alexei Moi already scouting for some kind of cheese. He knows Combat X. He's just being a little careful here. The SCV taking an alternative route to scout the base. But it looks like Combat X is going for that Nexus first, even before the gateway has gone down.
Yeah, so very economic, greedy build coming out of Combat X. If this works out for him, it'll pay dividends because that money boost that he will have and the ability to produce workers much quicker than his opponent will at least help him get that army out there. Meanwhile, the probe is going to be scouting around. This looks like the scouting will hit at roughly the same time in both of the players' bases. Critically, though, Alexei Moi will see the building Nexus and say, whoa, I didn't expect you to be there. And we'll see how he responds to that. Is he going to get an army to try to push out and maybe put some early aggression on this expo?
I was just going to say that, yeah, Alexei Moi has 2 choices now. He can try to play catch-up, or he can try to abuse the fact that the Gateway and Cybercore are so delayed. If he's able to get a couple of Marines out, which he already has 2 barracks for, he can actually do a lot of damage if he decides to bunker rush this Nexus.
Yeah, it will be a while until Combat X can get an army out. His Gateway only now finishes, his Cybercore now building. The Marines are moving out across the map, so this is a little bit suggesting that Alexei Moi is going to try to push the issue, to try to say, you're expanding, I'm going to attack. Because he knows Combat X is going to be spending huge amounts of money on probes and trying to now set up his production at this later stage of the game.
So we can see the Marines are almost halfway there to the base. The SCV and the probe are going to have a little bit of a tickle fight at that first watchtower, and Combat X will see the Marines moving out to his map. This SCV is probably going to be waiting for a couple more Marines to join before he starts to put down the bunker at the front. But it looks like behind this little pressure, Alexei Moi is taking the other option as well. He's trying to get a 3rd command center. So both players trying to outgreed the other one.
Yeah, indeed. And critically, Combat X, when he got that scout with the Zelnaga Tower, it did tell him that, hey, you better be careful. But now this allows Alexei Moi to have a nice soft contain on his opponent. Holding that Zelnaga Tower, there's really only one place that Combat X can leave his base if he even wants to skirt around those units. But he is now producing as many Stalkers as he can. Once those Stalkers come out, the Marines will have to leave, and it looks like they've left early, even though the Protoss party has not even begun. But yeah, like you said, so 3 command centers, so trying to outgreed Combat X's quick Nexus.
So no sort of engagement has happened yet, though the SCV is staying at the base. But I see more Marines moving out for Alexei Moi. He's going to take his own watchtower, and just to make sure that Combat X isn't trying to do some sort of shenanigans in his base. Although we do see a lot of gateways going down for Combat X right now. That is a grand total of 5 gateways going down.
So we see 7 Marines out for Alexei Moi, and I think that he typically stops around the 8 Marine mark, and then he starts building up towards his medevacs and marauders. So we should see him tech switching, and that's exactly what we see. We see the tech lab going down on 1-Rex to start producing marauders, while his other 2 bases will no doubt go into reactor play shortly thereafter. There's a small competition in the middle. These stalkers are micro decent, but one stalker almost goes down, is in the red. So Combat X not willing to stay and overstay his welcome. Sorry.
Very early Twilight Council going down for Combat X, even before the Robo, which makes me think he's going for some sort of blink tech play. He is putting it also the buildings in a area where they're not typically going to be scanned by the Terran, and we see Combat X also grabbing a 3rd base.
Indeed. So Combat X did scout the 3rd of Alexei Moi, so realizes that now is the time. I might as well just get my economy going because I am not being confronted. Meanwhile, in the middle, these stalkers are going to catch this SCV trying to scout. Are they going to attack? No, they're just on move. Are they going to get it in time? One more. No, the SCV does scout the timing of the 3rd, so some critical scouting by Alexei Moi. And Combat X had a chance to take out that SCV, but just didn't have the awareness to attack earlier.
So instead of blink, it does seem that Combat X is going for that charge attack, and Alexei Moi just sticking to, what he does best. He's going for that upgrade, he's getting the stim, he's getting his +1 weapons, and that factory is also coming up, so we'll be seeing Medivac soon, but this Zealot is on a mission.
Oh, one Zealot coming to do some early pressure on this 3rd. The army of Alexei is out of position, so the Zealot will be able to chase away these Marines, at least to stop the mining. The Zealot wisely leaves before the Marines show up, but with the Zealot legs coming, this should be a very powerful for Combat X. If he focuses on heavy Zealot production, not only will they passively run faster, but they'll also have the ability to charge, essentially appearing at the front of the army much quicker and getting the DPS they need against a fast-moving Terran Marine army. Oh, and the Zealot does get taken down cheaply by this Marine DPS.
Speaking of just Zealots, Combat X is going to have so many minerals. He's going to just be able to warp in days and days of Zealots from these 3 base economy he has there. But the pilot is taken down, and so there will be no proxy nodes coming out from over there. Meanwhile, in the base, we do see the upgrade for charge is almost complete, and he's also getting that double forge for those upgrades he desperately needs to make the Zealots so much more tankier.
So that pylon was destroyed, which does take out a little bit of that forward presence for Combat X. He does have another pylon in the far north of the map, which at least allows him to scout for medevacs and possibly even warp in some units for a little bit closer rally. So wise play by Combat X, knowing that Alexei Moi does favor the medevac play.
Observer is going to go out. He is going to be able to get a great scout of the base here, just stopping above the rocks, and we'll see how Alexei Moi will be able to pick off that Observer. He's actually done a pretty good job throughout this tournament picking off the Protoss Observers, but Zealot is being annoying once again.
Yeah, and now that he has the speed, he can move away much quicker and avoid this Terran force. And by doing this, he really forces Alexei Moi to stop focusing on what he wants to do, just annoying him enough. And we do see a pylon going out in the back near the main base of Alexei Moi. Interested to see how he'll use this pylon, if it's used to scout medevacs moving out, or if he's going to be using that to warp in units.
Combat X has been showing this through all of his games. Very nice pylon placement across the whole map. You can see there's just there's little dots of pink around the map here, and that is just so helpful for him to, you're right, getting that vision, but also getting that ability to warp in counterattacks from around the place.
These 3 bases for Protoss are just so stretched out, and now that he's gone into Colossus tech, he knows that he can't move very quickly, so it'll be critical that he ensures this map awareness. Meanwhile, this Marine force is going to move out, and this is that timing, that same timing Alexei loves to do. He's going to push out towards the Zelnaga, gain vision. He's going to probably pick up with his 2 medevacs and try a drop in the back, so it'll be critical to see how Combat X deals with this. He does send in his 1 Zealot to attack these SCVs. The SCV micro isn't the greatest. The Marine is going to come down. The AI does not force him to attack the Marines yet, because the micro, once good by Combat X, does take down at least 1 SCV, maybe 2.
We had that Observer actually follow the Terran army all over, so it knows, Combat X knows exactly where this army is, and now scouting and seeing that there's no medevac with this army, he should be able to understand that a drop is coming into the back of his base.
Here it comes, exactly what Alexei Moi's MO is. He loves to do this. There is an Observer by the medevac, so this army is going to clash in the front. The Observer does see the medevacs. Meanwhile, the confrontation in the front, this army is completely caught off guard. Alexei Moi does not pay attention. Combat X throws out the BM, knowing that he caught the units off
in the base. Is getting caught, but Combat X so ready for this. Has stalkers and everything ready to receive.
Absolutely beautifully played by Combat X. Much better play coming out of our Protoss player. Noticing that Alexei was coming in for the drop, he was there to receive it, and now he's putting a little poke at the front, almost able to take out that turret. Decides wisely to wait for his Colossus because he needs that long-range artillery fire.
And look, that Colossus range is so long right now with that extended thermal lance, and Combat X is now just barreling on the front of KX Alexis Maw.
So this army now will be able to put on a huge amount of hurt on this army composition, and the Stalkers do blink forward to take out the Vikings. The Viking numbers are dwindling. The one Colossus is microed nicely. He's moving into the corner. Actually decides to go up onto the high ground to save his Colossus. One Colossus does go down, but now they are in the base. Unfortunately, they're pinned for Combat X. He won't be able to leave if he isn't able to kill this army to move out. He snipes down the one Marauder and loses his Colossus for his troubles. The Stalkers blink south towards the mineral line, possibly to do one last form of damage on the mineral line, which is exactly what he's doing, killing SCVs like a kid in a candy factory, eating as much as he desires.
And it looks like the two Marines aren't defending this mineral line. There goes the rest of the army. Gonna clean up these Stalkers. But Combat X just totally ran on that momentum he got there. He was able to deny the drop. He was able to fight that army out in the middle and just push all the way into the Terran's base, at the same time securing his own fourth base.
And he definitely made the best of a bad situations. By pulling his Colossus into the main, he knew he trapped them, but he tried to make them as efficient and attacking with as much maximal damage as possible, even able to go into the mineral line and killing a number of SCVs, which definitely is a boon to him. And he is sending these Zealots again to be annoying at the third, and this will cause Alexei Mois to stim in with his Marines. The Marines will get a few pot shots on these Zealots, but the Zealots will be able to attack, and a couple Zealots to soften up this army in the front. The Zealot DPS is good, but there's just so many Marines that they come down quickly after killing only one Marine.
This isn't even, he's just doing this to, I don't even know why. Like,
keeping the harassment up.
Exactly.
Now that he has his fourth, if he can keep the harassment up and prevent his opponent from getting a fourth, and by spawning in those Zealots at the north to keep walking in the way they are, he can also ensure that Alexei Mois isn't getting his fourth up at the top there as well.
Just throwing these Zealots away, and it doesn't really matter. Combat X now coming out with his classic BM. But he does have a very huge army to back this up. Templars now in the army. He's getting into that money mix of Protoss units that he needs to totally just dominate. And he's busting through the middle of the map now. He's creating that shortcut so he can just go straight into the Terran third.
Oh, the scan is beautiful. I'm not sure how he had the presence of mind to scan. Oh, I guess watching the Zelnaga Tower, he did see the lasers on the rock, so he wanted to see the army composition. Ghosts are out for Alexei Mois, so he should be able to, if he's lucky, get some snipes on these High Templars before the feedback goes down on them. But it looks like Combat X was waiting for that storm timing, maybe going to wait for 2-2. No, he is going to attack the rocks in the meantime. The Vikings are being shot down by the Stalkers, which do spot it because of the beautiful observer placement by Combat X, now destroying the rocks so that he can come up and have a better choke with which to attack his opponent.
Ooh, good snipe on the observer there. Now Combat X does lose vision of the high ground, so he won't just charge in there like that. Instead, he will move back to the Zonarch Watchtower, which he has some vision, and is just going to wait and get a couple more units. He did morph in a couple of Archons there just to help tank the damage and possibly make the Terran choose. Is he going to EMP the Archons, or is he going to EMP the Templars?
So this 2-2 timing now is finished, but we do see level 3 weapons coming up for Alexei Mois and level 2 armor coming up for him, so he should be more than ready to match and actually surpass his opponent in upgrades. Meanwhile, these Zealots again being annoying, spending a small amount of minerals to do a lot of harassment, attacking the gas mining units,
and it looks like
even the
Combat's
Marines are going to go down.
Combat's moving in. A bunch of Stalkers trying to snipe some Vikings over there, but they do wisely blink out and not taking too much damage there. Now the Marines coming out just to get roasted by those Colossus.
And Combat X has beautiful map positioning right now. He even has, he's being very wise on his map coverage and moving around, being constantly moving. The Ghosts are moving forward, perhaps to get an EMP or a snipe. They do cloak, they're moving forward, but Combat X is now
Oh my gosh,
retreat.
The Templars are gonna get sniped by the army, but the Ghost, there's no observer. So many EMPs going down. Templars lose all their energy and morph them right into Archons, but these Ghosts are still going.
He has 2 observers coming in right now. If they can come in time, he will be able to kill the Ghosts. The Colossus are taking massive damage from this army. This might be exactly the engagement that Alexei Mois needs. The Archons are doing a great job tanking in the front, and that splash damage from both the Colossus and the Archon is enough to drive away Alexei Mois' force. The blinking Stalkers ahead are enough to also kill the Vikings, and Alexei Mois knows when he has been beaten, and GG is called out. So a thrilling game number 1 between Combat X and Alexei Mois. It'll be interesting to see how game number 2 goes. So that means Combat X 1-0 in this best of 5 series. Stay with us. We're just going to go to some quick commercial breaks, but we'll be back with game number 2 right after this.
Thanks.
No problem.
What'd you guys just do right there?
Just gave him a video.
Okay, let's get started.
You did that without a dongle.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm texting and watching a video at the same time.
It's a boy. Check it out.
3. Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
That's cool.
Wow. This is a lot to process.
Yeah.
Introducing the Galaxy S3. Share like never before.
I am not just a television. I am a Samsung Smart TV. I am your cheer on Canada and follow Twitter on screen machine. The only question is, where will your passions take us?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 2 of the grand finals here at the Canadian Eastern Finals for WCG.
We're just gonna hit the. We're not gonna hit the Esports Canada Sting. You know who we are. You've already visited the site, signed up for our forums, already love us so much. So we're just going straight into game number 2 on Shakura's Plateau. And again, it'll be our second game between our opponents, Alexei Moi and Combat X.
So, in the bottom of Shakura's Plateau, bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Terran, who is down 1 game, killing sprees Alexei Moi. And he is playing against our opponent, Combat X, as the pink Protoss in the top right-hand corner.
So cross spawns for these players, and Shakura's Plateau obviously being chosen by Alexei Moi. So this must be a map that he feels very comfortable against Protoss, and it's a good map to abuse medevac drop harassment.
And we've seen that, that's something he likes to do. It's a strategy he likes to play. But I wonder if he's a little scared of what just happened last game. He was totally shut down by Combat X's defense.
Indeed. Daybreak is another map that lends itself extremely well to medevac harass play, but Combat X knew it, and he was able to shut it down so well. Just slammed the door right in Alexei's face, although that sounds very violent. And I don't know why I wanted to say it so convincingly. But at any rate, we do see Alexei Moi coming up with the production, with his racks being built. Combat X only producing drones at the time, and now still scouting out with this drone. Will find the spawn. Sorry, probes. Workers, I should say. Will scout the base of Alexei Moi.
So in this map on Shakura's Plateau, if you're spawning in cross positions, it's hard to do the sort of harass that you can do with Terran. What you can do is, if you do look at the side of your bases, there is ability to drop in Marines, but also have siege tanks positioned on the low ground, so you can siege attack while you're still up, their base. But it looks like another Nexus first sort of play is coming up for Combat X here.
So, very economic, greedy build once again coming out of Combat X. It worked for him last game, and now being cross spawns in this game. So, Daybreak, like we said yesterday, it is one of the bigger maps. There is a long distance to travel between the two players. So, perhaps this is a build that Combat X feels comfortable holding on these long distance maps, especially now that he has cross spawns on this on Shakura's Plateau.
And so, getting that little bit of economic advantage is so huge for Protoss. It allows you to get, all those probes up faster, and with that chrono boost, you can kind of outpace the Terran, at least in the early stages of the game.
Oh, that stutter step micro does take down that probe, so it will not be able to scout later on or drop proxy pylons, which Combat X is ever a fan of. These two, decides to put a gate up at the front of the ramp. Interesting choice, because those can usually get sniped down easily by ranged units.
So it looks like the gateway, 2 gateways are a bit of a different build coming out from Combat X, deciding not to get that cybercore just yet. With 2 gateways, he can make a lot of zealots, and that might be what he's trying to do here. Some pressure in the front.
Indeed. It'll take a long time for those zealots to get across, but at least his production will be right on point and able to push the issue with Alexei Moi. Perhaps even force Alexei Moi to put more into army and less into economy, which is not really what you want to do. You definitely want to get your money going so that you can build an army that you want, not
Look at this probe,
respawn.
Frank. Did you see that probe? Did you see that probe moving down into the bottom map? What is he doing there?
I don't know. Maybe a sneaky third?
It could be, but we do see some Marines moving out now. They're going to be taking out Watchtower, but Combat X does pull his probe back, not wanting to lose a single unit right now. And the Marines now have being checked are leaving their friend behind. Now Alexei Moa does have full vision of the map.
Yeah, he does have those two middle Zelnaga towers. The Zealot is going to push out and scare away that Marine. Even with the stutter step micro, he won't be able to... Oh, he's actually going to get an SCV. If Alexei is not careful, he will... Alexei does pull it away. And now the probe does come back to join his brethren. The Marines are at the front waiting for a bunker of Alexei Moa's natural. And we are going to see both these players stabilize for a long time, trying to build up an army off 2 base economy.
That Zealot at the middle watchtower does get 1 kill, slicing that Marine apart. And now he will be joined by his friend. And that watchtower will be safe for quite a while until Alexei Moa builds up a larger army.
Now with the Stalker, he might decide to go for a poke at the front door of Alexei Moa. It's exactly what he's going to do. The main base of Alexei Moa, you do see the double gas mining, and the Marines at the front are now moving out early to maybe receive the Stalker, perhaps get the jump on him. One Marine does go down to the Stalker range and speed, and now Combat X has effectively taken control of the map and ramping up production with even 3 more gates.
This is looking very similar to the build he did last game, except just 1 gate less. And now we see another Stalker and a Probe moving out. Combat X, I guess the vision in the middle of the map has swapped now. The Protoss does have the vision. And he's looking like he's going to do some sort of pylon placement up there with that Probe.
Indeed, this is exactly what he has wanted to do for a while. He's even deciding to get his 3rd base. Combat X is deciding to get his 3rd base going while scouting the 3rd base of Alexei Moa. So he knows he's going to be ahead in... economy if he can just get this 3rd up without any response from Alexei.
So this is actually pretty similar to the build. Once again, getting that Twilight Council, and as someone from the chat actually told me, it is going for that early charge attacks. And wow, look at that micro there with the Stalkers only losing the shields and moving straight away.
Beautiful control by Combat X, staying exactly out of range of that bunker and keeping a soft contain at the front. Does move back with the Stalkers, but it's okay. They did exactly what they needed to do. And Alexei Moa, again, is also going for the exact same build that he's been going up until this point. He is getting that starport. He's getting the reactors on those racks. 1 racks with a tech labs, so he is going to be swapping the factory with the starport when those are done and going into medevac production. It looks like this one might hit slightly ahead of time from before. He might be able to hit around the 10:30 or 11-minute mark.
Okay, so the bunker has been salvaged right now. Alexei Moa is pretty confident he has a large enough army to deal with any sort of Protoss aggression, but he hasn't scouted this 3rd base yet. And when he does, he's probably going to be kicking himself, knowing that he let this Protoss get the 3rd base up so easily.
Indeed, and for such a long time, he will be mining off that 3rd base before Alexei has anything. And the proxy pylon in the top left map, possibly to see medevacs flying around, also to drop down units. And he now is warping in lots of Zealots. And this is a very smart move. Now that he's getting the Zealot legs, these Zealots are going to be so strong against the Marines. The DPS of Zealots is actually very high. They do 2 slices at a time. So they can take down Marines very quickly. And without combat shields and without armor upgrade, he should have a nice damage boost with these combat leg Zealots.
I like how the placement for the Zealot right now, if you look at the bottom, in the middle bottom of the map, there is a Zealot place right there, and you know, with that pylon warp in, he was able to warp in the Zealot right there, so good for spotting drops if that's what's going to happen in the game.
Indeed, and this might also be what you were saying about worrying that perhaps he was going to put some siege tanks down there to siege up at the mineral line. So we do see the Marines moving out, just as we said, around the 10:30 or 11-minute mark. They should hit the front along with the medevacs. It does look like Combat X is out in the middle to receive this. He did see it by running away from the Zelnaga Tower, and again, Alexei Moa is going to pick up one in the back, deciding to only send 1 medevac this time. These Zealots are charging to slice that Marine, and they do successfully get the jump on him.
Observer is over the medevacs. He also has vision of the Marine drop in the bottom corner, but that pylon is going to scout it perfectly. So now, you know, splitting some Zealots up, going to the back of the base, and these charge outs are so hard to micro against, especially if you have to fight more fronts than just 1.
So that pylon doing exactly what he wanted it to do. It did scout the units ahead of time. So Alexei Moa, knowing that basically the drops are reliant on not being noticed. If they get noticed, they can be countered. But if they are noticed, you just have to tuck your tail between your legs and run away if you can't power through. And that's exactly what we saw Alexei do. He moved back to meet the rest of his force. He might decide to do just a full frontal assault with this unit composition, but I'm not sure he's going to have a good time if he waits too long, because Colossus will be coming onto the field as soon as that robo is done.
Oh man, more and more gates just coming down, and there are just so many Zealots on the field. 27 Zealots right now. And it looks like there's going to be engagement here. It's going to be so hard to micro against these charge slots. But Aleximo is doing a great job. Stalker's now trying to pick off all those medivacs, but the DPS of the Marine Ball is just too high.
That Marine DPS is essential to this army, but critically the Zealots, because of the Zealot legs, they at least get a couple slices before they die. If they didn't have the Zealot legs, they would have had nothing of the sort. And now the third for Combat X will be attacked. I'm sure these minerals being mined from here have paid for itself, so even losing this army won't be that big of a deal. The army now is trapped. It's either kill this base or die trying, and all these units are now caught, but the DPS is so epic that it's actually killing Combat X's forces, and he's going to have to retreat with these units, and Combat X GG's. Feeling that he cannot compete with that incredible army of KS Alexei Moi. So Alexei Moi brings the series to a tie. It's now 1-1 in this best of 5 series. So both players still have to win 2 more games to actually finish off and win the entire tournament.
All right, so don't go away, guys. And we'll keep on talking because we're not going for a break. We're going straight into the next game. Yeah, there's no AoE in that game, I guess. Without that AoE, it's so hard to take out that Terran army, especially if you're not up in upgrades as well.
He definitely had that one Colossus building, but it just wasn't there in time. I'm not sure why. If he just decided to sack that base, he might not have been in such a bad position. Because he still was mining off that for a long time, so he was able to get the minerals. If anything, he probably collected enough minerals where he would have been able to say, well, I lost it, but it already paid for itself. Maybe even gave me a little more. So we'll see how both players play it next round. And it looks like we're actually starting the next game. So I believe we're going to be going to an Esports Canada Sting, and then we'll talk to you guys on the other side of that. Welcome back, team. This is your first caster, Jovian, and your second caster, Songers. And we are casting the grand finals in the WCG. Oh, and it looks like there was an issue. Combat X had to leave the game. I'm sure that the admins there at the Complex Desjardins are on hand to deal with whatever just happened, but it could have been any number of things. Maybe it was the wrong map. Maybe Combat X, something happened which interfered with
I know what it was. Alexei Moi was red. Just couldn't happen.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the color. I'm sure it was the color.
No, had to be.
But that doesn't matter. Combat X quickly starts up the next game, now adding spectators, and there's also a French stream going on, so there's so many spectators in the game right now. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us and watching these amazing pro players play it out. I am completely enthralled with these matches. This has been some great high-level play by these Canadian players.
So we just have a little issue right now. It seems that our production guy can't really get into the game right now. I see it on stream, and
it looks like John is killing esports, and so is Frank, which is me. No, I'm in.
We're not killing esports.
So my co-caster is going to tell them that John just has to log out and log back in, but that just gives us time to talk a little bit about WCG in these finals. So the player who wins between these these next couple games is going to be going to China in the WCG national finals and play internationally to represent Canada. And that must feel so great. We've already had Hendralisk and Firezer come out, both Toronto and Vancouver respectively. And now we're looking at who's the best of the best in the East in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So we're probably not going to play the Sting again because we already did that. We don't have to see it too much, but the countdown is at 0, and Ohana is the map. Players are Alexei Moi and Combat X. Both players tied at 1-1. A best of 5 series. Songers, please do the introductions.
So here we go. Up in the top left-hand corner of Ohana is our pink Protoss, Combat X. And he is playing against his opponent, returning to his original colors, our blue Terran, killing sprees, Alexei Moi.
Indeed. So both these players showing that they are on even footing, going head-to-head, swipe for swipe, tying up the series at 1-1. So that means that right now we are in a best-of-3 format. It's basically reset, and now it could be anybody's game.
With the last game, it seems that Lexington almost hard countered exactly what Combat X was doing. You would think that, against charge slots, you want some Marauders to slow them down. But no, you just want pure Marine, because that DPS, as you saw in the last game, just shred apart all those Zealots.
Yeah, absolutely munch through those Zealots. I mean, the legs are so crucial because they at least give the Zealots a chance to attack before they die. Without the legs, they're basically following an army forever, and they just get mowed down as tanks, but they never do anything. So at least with the legs, they've done a little bit of DPS before they've died, and they get all up in your face so that these Marines have to keep stutter stepping away.
Exactly. And you can't really, I guess after a while, the charge lot's a really strong, mid-game strategy. Once that ball gets too big, it's just like running into a meat grinder.
Yeah, and they just turn into a little bit of a buffer before your main DPS units in the back get attacked. Meanwhile, we do see KS Alexei Moi bringing up his barracks, and very similar play between these two players. This is exactly what we've seen in the past.
Doing some little scouting there. Alexei Moi a little worried about Combat X. He knows that Combat X does do cheesy builds, and he's just scouting out. But it looks like Combat X is going very solid for this best of 5 finals here, and going for that Nexus first once again.
Yeah, it seems he really favors this play against Terran. He likes to just go greedy. I guess that's it's a good choice because Terran like to go greedy against Protoss, right? So if you are on point with your control, you can just be as greedy. You can just get your Nexus up just as fast as they can get their CCs up. We do see a scouting SCV, or scouting, probe coming down for Combat X. Meanwhile, in Combat X's base, there is Alexei Moi's SCV also scouting. So both players will see each other. This Marine is going to be able to take down this probe with a little bit of control. He will be able to shoot it. No, the probe just skirts around the vision of the Marine, and the Marine isn't able to finish it off. And decides to take the long path around. So now this probe will get a full scout and know exactly what Alexei Moi has in his base.
Alexei Moi, Combat X doesn't see any gas, so he's pretty sure Alexei Moi is going for that expansion, and he would be happy to know that his Nexus is basically finished when his opponent has just started his. So we'll see how Alexei Moi will deal with this. In the first game, he was able to take a third expansion right off the bat. So not playing catch up, but being even more greedy than Combat X was. In the second game, though, just stood on his two bases, got a huge army, and pushed to win.
Yeah, and taking out that army was enough for Combat X to fold and say, I'll get you next time. So we do see two Marines moving across the map, probably trying to get a little bit of map awareness at that Zelnaga Tower. The closer Zelnaga Tower is having a little bit of a fight between SCV and Probe, which is a fight that the SCV will always win. It's the SCV that always wins that, right? Yeah. So we do see the Zealot now reticent to move towards those two Marines because he knows that they'll be able to just run around and kite them all day.
Combat X is right now in the blind area right now because he cannot take that watchtower that is held by that little SCV. And now Alexei Moi, having that watchtower, is going to be moving back into his base. Meanwhile, we do see the tech lab going down, and we have the other three barracks. So, going to that bioplay, getting the Marauders, getting the stim, and he's going to be probably waiting for that medevac play again.
Once again, I feel you could write a book. You could set your watch to this build. This is exactly the same build he's been doing through this entire tournament. And Terrans, take note, because I don't feel that he has deviated from this at all against any race. This is a very strong build, going for 3 racks, 1 turning into Tech Lab for Marauders, 2 turning into Reactor for Marines, and then going into Factory, followed by Starports so that he can get his medevacs out. And it usually hits around the 10:30, 11 mark, depending on how quickly he can get those production facilities online.
Combat X doing something a little different, though. However, he is going straight for that Robo first, not giving the 4 gates that he usually does. So playing maybe a little more safe. Maybe he was a little worried about the lack of AoE damage he had last game.
Indeed.
So it could be a quick tech to Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, the Zealots were nice for him. He did decide to tech to the combat, or to the Zealot legs early, but then that sacrificed his Colossus production, which came about later, and like you said, that AoE was definitely needed. So the Colossus Bay is coming down now, and that means that the Colossus production will come out a lot earlier for Combat X.
You should be able to have at least 1 Colossus, possibly 2, by the time medevac timing hits for the Terran player. Exactly. And that will definitely help him clean up that sort of attack. No third base coming out just yet, though. Just wants to get that Colossus number first, wants to play more solid, wants to be safe.
Yeah, 4 more gates coming out for Combat X, and now critically, he is getting his Colossus earlier, but this will also mean that his army will be a little bit slower. So he'll have to make sure he plays some strong positional play, just as he did in the first game, to defend against those drops that we know Alexei is fond of. If you just have your armies grouped together under the Colossus, you could be very slow to react. So he needs to make sure he has some stalkers in the back to defend against drops from any direction.
There goes the swap that most Terrans do. He is getting that reactor on the start board, getting double medivacs out of there. And we see the gateways are about to finish, so Combat X will have the ability to warp in reinforcements very, very soon. The Twilight Council is also complete, and we'll see what kind of tech he chooses from there. Sticking on this 2 base, though, I believe it's going to be Blink.
And it is Blink, exactly like you said. You know what? It really bugs me, and I know we talked about this, but I really wish that there was collision detection between those flying buildings. Why do they get to fly through each other? My units can't walk through each other. Why do Terran buildings get to fly through each other? It doesn't make sense to me. But I guess this is a fictional game, so don't anybody say, oh, so a game where Marines and aliens are fighting is totally supposed to be realistic. But anyways, we do see a massive number of Marines out in the front, this time actually not going for Marauders, so deviation from the build that I was actually saying earlier, deciding to go for straight up Marine DPS.
I'm a little worried about this. Marines against Colossus, 9 times out of 10, the Colossus is going to win. But it seems like Alexei Ma is just going to be brave and push on forward. Combat X notices this with his scouting probe and is able to move his army into a favorable position. Stalkers, though, going over to the corner. Maybe just to check out if anything's going on. One Marine is going to get a few shots off, and he does get away with that.
What a hero that Marine was. So yeah, like we said, now we do see the Marauder coming out now for Alexei Ma, but is it too late? The Stalker numbers are huge, and with at least 2 Colossus, he should be able to ravage this all-Marine army. He does need to be careful to make sure that he doesn't lose his Colossus to the incredible DPS, so he will have to use a little bit of micro on his Colossus.
Combat X is already postured for any possible drops out with Combat. Now there are 3 Colossus at the ramp. There's no way that Marine Ball is going to be even attacking up the front ramp. So now Combat X is pretty safe, just needs to worry about catching this drop, and he should be perfectly fine.
Indeed, and we do see that Alexei Ma is trying to rally his troops all together. We'll have a sizable army coming up. There are no force fields for Combat X, so this army could easily stim, move in, and snipe with the massive DPS that they possess. The medevac count is also high, so interestingly, Alexei had an opportunity to attack earlier, decided to wait, and now has another a window to attack. That's kind of weird to see a Colossus holding a Zelnaga tower, but I guess we're just waiting for his Stalker buddies to show up. This army, though, is very fragile. I'm not sure about this move sending out into the middle of the map.
Well, with the mobility of Blink, I think he's just trying to be careful. He's blinking a couple Stalkers forward, just be able to see where the Terran army is. He also has that Observer that I think the Observer got
in the left side.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, okay. So it's watching for drops there. And meanwhile, we have the Terran Observer, the huge flying factory, at the opposite side. We see his army moving forward. He's grabbing the watchtower with 4 Colossus. Combat X is feeling very confident. He's going to try to do some sort of push.
These Colossus are going to do epic damage against this army composition. The Viking count is extremely low for Alex, and it looks like Combat X is now going to attack in the front of the ramp. The concave is beautiful for our Terran player. 2 Colossus do go down. Another Colossus is being sniped, but the DPS is very strong. Some Marines are micro to the back. 1 Colossus more is going to go down. These Stalkers are not enough to tank it. All the Colossus go down. No more Zealots left. These Stalkers are going to have to blink to get out of this battle range. Otherwise, these Marauders are going to be able to attack, but without concussive shells, these Stalkers just are able to escape.
Excellent engagement angle there for Alexei Ma. He was able to have that concave on the top of the ramp, doing also all his units were attacking while Combat X was kind of funneled up that ramp. He lost all his Colossus. That is not a good sign. He's going to lose out that AoE damage, and now the factory is being annoying, landing where the Nexus should be.
This is something that Alexei Ma tried in the first game, but Combat X was much quicker on his third. This time, deciding to go for 2 base and not expanding to his third, so that factory does get to plop down and, like you said, block off the potential of that third. Only really Zealots, a very small force for Combat X, and having to reproduce those Colossus is absolutely terrible. We do see the army of Alexei Ma moving out. Combat X is aware he's going to try to just pick off some of these bad rally units. He does get one of the medevacs and a Viking and another Viking, a few more pot shots into that third Viking, but oh, and he does ultimately get it for the cost of nothing to him.
Okay, great use of that blink there, but Comet X is down in about 30 supply. He needs to have some sort of buffering unit in front of his army because that DPS of the Marauders is taking out his Stalkers way too fast, which allowed the Vikings to freely reign over the skies and snipe all those Colossus.
He is now clearing out his third with an army. Combat X is now clearing out that factory that was being annoying, and he is producing... Oh no, the factory is still sticking around, so that's interesting. But Combat X is producing 2 Colossus at a time now, so he has doubled his production. He should be able to get back to the numbers that he needs to fight against a bio army.
But is it a smart idea to keep making those Colossus against a Terran player who already has a Viking number, and it can just increase that Viking number? I'm interested to see. I don't really know why he's not switching over to Templar. Maybe because there's just that imminent threat of the Terran attacking.
So the factory did go down for Alexei Moi, so that means that level 2 upgrades will not be able to go down for him until he rebuilds the factory. So that could be a pretty critical pickup for Combat X. He could use that definitely to his advantage. He himself is sitting on absolutely no upgrades. No Forge is even upgrading them, so at least he stemmed the upgrades for his opponent, but he needs to definitely get on the upgrade train.
Oh, another good few snipes coming out for Blinkstalkers, getting another Viking, keeping those Viking numbers lower than they should be. But right now, he's moving up his ramp, and now with 4 Colossus, Comet X is looking like he wants to engage. But Stalkers are on the front. Nice blink there. Zealot's charging in, taking all that damage, but the Colossus are just going down so fast. Oh my gosh, Terran's going to snipe another 4 Colossus, and all the Colossus go down. Comet X needs to blink back out, but no, the Terran army's not going to stop there, Frank. What can Comet X do right now?
Absolutely nothing. He can only sit there and hope Blink magically makes something happen. And unfortunately, Combat X has to GG, which means Alexei Moi goes up 2-1 in this series. And this best of 5 has to win only one more game to get an all-expense-paid trip to China. Is extremely amazing for both of our players. I mean, I can't wait to see the 4th game. So we're just going to go to an advertisement, but stick with us. This is an incredible series. We'll be back after this.
I am not just a television. I am a Samsung Smart TV. I am your cheer on Canada and follow Twitter on screen machine. The only question is, where will your passions take us?
All right, you ready, Kevin? And flip.
Whoa! Did you get that?
Yep. Look at this. Takes like 20 pictures at a time. I never miss anything. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, that's really cool. You should upload these.
I know, right?
That is really amazing. Pictures are so clear.
Kevin's a handsome devil.
My phone does everything. Search dog tricks.
Okay, see if we can teach him something cool. Look at how lazy Kevin is.
Kevin, get it together, dude.
Come on, Kevin.
Take 20 pictures with Burst Shot on the Galaxy S3.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are possibly going into the last match of our grand final. Currently, Alexei Moi is up 2 to Combat X's 1, and it's going to be intense for Combat X. This is his second try to finish first in the finals.
Yeah, got 2nd place in WCG Toronto, so he definitely wanted to get through by trying again in Montreal. But competing with some of the best out east is no laughing matter. Combat X is from the Ottawa area, so I mean, he lives right in between Toronto and Montreal, so basically he can go wherever he pleases for those 2 finals. But it'll be sad for him if he gets 2nd place twice. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
I just thought of Combat X in the dress. Walking
that would be an interesting scene. But indeed, so our series is at 2-1. Alexei has shown that he can do it with the drop harassment. He can do it with straight up frontal confrontation. What do you expect to see in this final matchup?
I think Alexei Moi now knows that he has that confidence now. He was able to destroy Combat X in a very strange sort of three-base Zealot build, but he also was able to beat him straight up in sort of typical Colossus play. So I think Alexei Moi, he seems like a player who just sticks to his guns. He's been using a similar build the whole time throughout this tournament, and I feel like he's just going to do that again because he has the practice of winning with that build.
And I also enjoy the strength of transitions for Alexei Moi. I'm not sure how many people noticed it, but he did go right into Ghost technology as he was defeating Combat X in that last confrontation. He was transitioning into Ghost, so not staying stagnant, not willing to just say, I'm just going to stick with Vikings to kill your Colossus, being, one step ahead of Combat X in that last game, and it definitely showed in that stellar victory.
So Combat X, a lot of people in chat are saying he's going cheese. He's going to do cannon rush. He's going to 2-gate proxy. I don't know. It could happen, guys.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's definitely a versatile player. We've seen a lot of builds come out for him, and that's one thing that makes him enjoyable to watch for sure. Because he doesn't bore you. Definitely, he's something interesting to watch. So, and he's also a very strong player. So, I mean, it is. But
2-1.
We're trying to suggest right now Frank to join game, but nobody is inviting him. So once we get him into the game, his account that is for spectating purposes, we should be able to start it.
Oh,
no, they decided to go without it, so we won't be using the second computer. No biggie. Oh wait, they did cancel it.
Ah.
Okay, so they found out that they didn't invite all the spectators, so we just need to quit out and get invited into this game again. But that's all right. It just means that the suspense builds.
It does.
We'll have to wait even a little bit longer to see who represents Canada from out east. From east.
From east. We keep saying the out.
Eastern Canada.
Like they're not part.
They're part of Canada. They're just as central as we are.
I don't know. In a finals like this, I don't think Combat X is going to throw away a game if it just came down to a cheese getting detected or found out. Or he will. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see just what he decides to play. There's just a little bit of confusion on the setup of the map. Combat X will be the one choosing the map, so he's probably going to be the one hosting it. And we're just waiting for invites. But as soon as those go up, we will jump right into that game. And here is the invite. And it's on Cloud Kingdom.
Cloud Kingdom.
So very popular map, loved by all three races. And now we just need to suggest Frank.
No one likes Frank.
Of my account's so nice. Don't they want to see my bronzies?
See, Frank's not even receiving an invite right now. Oh, never mind. There it is.
There it is. So just a couple more seconds, and here we are. 10-second countdown. We'll play the Esports Canada Sting, and we'll see you on the other side of it. Welcome back, team, to this best-of-5 series between Alexei Moi and Combat X. The series is currently 2-1 for Alexei Moi. The map is Daybreak, and in the Cloud Kingdom. And in the top right corner of Cloud Kingdom, we have our pink Protoss, Combat X. And his opponent in the bottom left of the map, it's the blue Terran, the resilient and stoic, I would say, Terran. The blue Terran, KS Alexei Moi.
You say that C with the way...
Because we know an Alexei, and he happens to play Terran. So I keep wanting to call him Alexei.
Yeah.
But it's Alexei, I guess?
It could be Alex. How do you say C in
French? don't even talk.
You need to help?
No, just
I don't...
Stop.
Probe coming out for Combat X. He is going to be doing an early scout, dropping a pylon in this base. So once again, we won't be seeing any shenanigans out of him early on. Probe is going to be going in, and he does see no gas being taken. So I think he's going to go for that same Nexus first build.
Yeah, and there's still no production. Now he does see the racks come out for Alexei Moi, and this is exactly what he's been doing. He really does favor that not building at the ramp play. I mean, I guess one benefit is when you're dropping the supply depots near your mineral line, you can get your workers back on the... Oh, and there it is. So now this pylon is going to be extremely annoying. Not only does he have to pull SCVs to defend against that, but he's got two that can't do anything. They should be attacking, by the way. I don't know why they're not. And two also attacking, so it's canceled just at the last second, but able to stop a lot of mineral mining time.
So yeah, very annoying little trick right there. It looks like he wanted to try again, moving that probe around, just that little extra micro in the beginning, but he's almost able to snipe that. who is going to be the first blood here, but Probe and SV are both going to return to their respective homes.
Combat X pulling all the stops. Again, going for that Nexus. And so someone in chat is telling us it's Alexi moi. C'est moi. Oh, it's me. Alex, c'est moi.
Ah,
I
thank
get
you
it
guys.
now.
Thank you very
So
much.
good. I guess you can't have apostrophes in
the names, yeah, you can't put the
yeah.
names.
And you
for,
didn't put
apostrophes.
say. But
Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. Now we have the guys' names, and we can pronounce them properly.
It only took like the whole series. It
Yeah,
only
the whole-
took the grand finals for us to finally figure out how to say the guy's name. But we do see the command center coming out for Alex, and he's now going to chase out that probe and say, "You're not allowed to scout my base." But Combat X is probably comfortable assuming that CC is there and happy that his Nexus was ahead of that.
Okay, so now the SCV is prized out at the third base, making sure Combat X not going to take another sneaky third. And he's going to be going for that scout, seeing that Nexus is going to be confirmed for him that the same build is happening again.
Yeah, doesn't bother going into the main base to scout anymore. Probably afraid of a potential stalker, even though he doesn't know his opponent didn't have a cyber core building until just now. He could have easily outran any zealots, but did not take any chances. Both gases going down for our Protoss player. And no chrono boost left on that Nexus, so he's been spending all his chrono on producing probes.
Now look, the command center is going down, so Alexei Moa is making that command center. He's being more greedy than a Protoss again, and this is very similar to the second game we saw, trying to counter the Protoss greediness with his own greediness.
Yeah, indeed. This is a quick a third CC. We'll be able to lift that up and drop it very nicely on Cloud Kingdom. And this is a great map to be able to defend three bases. This is a very three-base oriented map. Combat X does have a probe there waiting to see when that CC does go down, so that'll be good scouting information for him. But really, Combat X isn't producing much. He's going to have a Stalker and a Zealot, or perhaps just a Stalker to poke at the front of the base, but really won't be able to follow it up with any aggression once that third does go down.
The
there we go.
The SCV at the third base of Combat X was chased out by a Zealot, but now he is back there again, ready to delay even more. Now we see the watchtowers is held by Combat X, so he has vision of exactly what's going on here. Now 2 more gateways have gone down. 3. Oh, that's a lot of gateways. That's
Yeah.
5 gateways.
So ramping up production hard.
But remember last time in the first game, he also went 5 gateways and no push came. So this could be just more precaution than anything else.
Indeed. So this production will allow him to put some aggression on that third once it's dropped, which would be great for Combat X if he can maybe deny that third and potentially get his own. Meanwhile, we do see a double bunker up at the front. So Alexei Moi playing very defensive, defending that natural with 2 bunkers and a number of Marines.
Okay, so here comes the Stalker, getting ready to poke, maybe trying to snipe that SCV, but no, it's not going to be enough because the range of that bunker is exactly the same as that Stalker.
Indeed. He was trying to get just south enough so that he could attack the SCV, but couldn't get the proper angle. We'll settle for Zelnaga Tower control. There is a third going up for Combat X and a pylon in the back to scout for Medivac, so he should be able to try to match the economy of our Terran player, who has not dropped his third, and this probe is well aware of that.
The probe there waiting. Third has been dropped for Combat X, so yeah, definitely ahead here.
Bunkers.
3 bunkers in the front. That's telling me that Alexei Moa is a little worried about some sort of pressure that could be coming.
Indeed, and he's content to keep his command center up in his main, which he's probably just using for production. He is producing 3 SCVs at a time and mule production as well. So really, it's basically a macro CC.
So this game definitely going to be going into the macro stages of the game, and you're right, the macro CC is producing SCVs at the same rate that the Protoss will be once that third base is up. We see again charges being researched, and so is that Colossus Bay that's coming down. So very similar build to game number 1, which Combat X won handily.
Indeed, yeah, and one of those bunkers is removed from the front of Alexei's base. Now we do see Combat X going again for those Zealot legs, so not going for the... Oh, he is getting Colossus at the same time, but the Zealot leg should hit very soon, and then Colossus production will be able to begin very quickly thereafter. This timing is a little better for him because I feel that he will have a Colossus out by the time that Alexei tries to push out, if he tries to get out at the 10:30-11 mark.
So the probe does see the timing on that third base, and has already dropped the pylon, ready to do some sort of warp in, like that little Zealot harass that he was doing in the second game, just sending bunches of zealots in, so the Terran army had to be pulled back. And
on the first game.
Second
on
game.
Daybreak, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh, that was the
That was
first
the
game,
first one,
right?
yeah.
On the first game, where the Terran army needs to separate his army to deal with those pesky zealots.
So those probes are having a little party down at the bottom right of the map. Meanwhile, this Marine army is moving out, just as we said, around the 10:30 or 11 mark. They probably should try to get to the front of the base. Instead, Alexei Semois is trying to move around, probably trying to find some proxy pylons and make sure that he doesn't get any aggression in the back when he is up at the front of Combat X's base. And beautifully timed, is able to snipe that zealot and now knows that there's a pylon out there that he can easily take and reduce the supply of Combat X.
I wonder if Alexei was going to even keep continuing looking for these pylons, because they're just pylons going all down everywhere in this map here.
It's a pylon.
Combat X is very good at dropping these pylons around the map, which serve two purposes: scouting for those drops, but also giving him that path for counterattack. Also, he's getting those double forges down, which is something he was lacking in the game before.
Indeed, those upgrades were terrible for him in that last game.
And so those upgrades will definitely play a huge role in the later fights that will occur between these two armies.
We do see that Alexei Moi now finishing his armory and getting his level 1 weapons almost completed, so he will be ahead for a little bit. He does have a little bit of timing, but is not attacking. Still being very active with his army going around the map. Now about to snipe another pylon on the left-hand side, and there it is. He is going to easily take this out in time. So now Combat X now might be worried about just throwing away 100 minerals at a time all around the map like this.
I think that could be true, but you know, once again, throwing down 100 minerals is not too much at this stage of the game, Frank. I think that the vision and the warning that it gives, it's much more beneficial to him right now. He is able to sit out in the middle of the map, though, and we do see the Mobius reactor upgrade coming down, which is that energy upgrade for the Ghosts.
Yeah, so going straight into Ghost this time, not going into Viking play, even though Colossus are on the map. So we'll have to see if this ends up being a poor choice. This is the first time I've seen Alexei Moi do something very different from his previous build. So now he hasn't put any aggression on his opponent. He's allowed him to get 3 bases untouched. He has killed quite a number of pylons around the map, but going into Ghost, the EMPs will be invaluable, but those Colossus will be able to eviscerate those light units.
Very quick 4th base at the 13-minute mark. 4th base is coming down for Combat X. His army isn't too large right now. A lot of the resources have been focused into economy, and he does have his Templar Archives done, and he is getting that storm. A sensor tower is coming up. I haven't seen those in ages.
Both of these players going straight for the end tech that they both desire. The only things that we haven't seen in this tournament is a mothership, and I would love to see that at some point. I doubt we'll even see it in this matchup, but that's about the only thing we haven't seen at this point. We do see the upgrades going higher and higher for both players. We see level 1 armor already completed for Combat X, going on level 2 armor and working on his level 1. Meanwhile, Alexei Moi is moving on his level 2 weapons.
The Protoss player, actually, Protoss is actually already at 1-1, but it seems that only one engineering bay is down for the Terran. He's also getting his Viking upgrade. He's getting his +1 weapons for air, but right now it doesn't seem like there's that many Colossus on the field. It's interesting to see Combat X going for both tech paths at once. He's not going for that switch that usually Protoss do.
Going Colossus
and then
into High Templar.
Or Templar into High Colossus. So he'll have both at the same time. And Alexei Moi is doing the great job of having both counters at the same time as well.
Indeed, so both these players are playing against each other perfectly. This one zealot will be spotted by that sensor tower well before he gets within range. I'm not sure if Alexei Moi is going to be able to react in time. Will he notice this? He is moving his entire army. He might get a couple swipes on these SCVs. He almost kills a mule. Maybe gets this last SCV. He does. What a hero zealot. Does kill one SCV. Meanwhile, the army count for both our players just keep climbing higher and higher. The supplies are almost maxed out, virtually maxed out for Alexei Moi, and Combat X not far behind. And the production is high as well. DT Shrine coming out for Combat X.
All the tech is being, I guess, built in this game. All the tech is going to be tech. In this game here, the DT Shrine, a 5th base coming up for Combat X. And this is just the most macro of all macro games I've seen all tournament.
This is going to be a huge economy potential for Combat X, and then once he mines out his bases, he doesn't have to worry about expanding later. He can just focus all on army. I guess he's playing lucky that Alexei Moi has put nothing towards him, hasn't aggressed at all. So Combat X has been just happy to go and keep macroing up while he stays virtually on supply with Alexei Mois.
This might be Alexei Mois' downfall in the sense that you can't let a Protoss just macro, because in the end, his army, and especially with the upgrades right now, Alexei Mois is only getting his +2 armor right now. So once his Protoss army gets really huge and has that ability to just warp it and reinforce, there could be some trouble here.
Indeed. Combat X going for 3-3 right now. Alexei Mois almost has his level 3 weapons, and a few Zealots are going to come down and see this army thrown away cheaply, but the supply count is so high, Combat X probably just wants to clear some supply. Quickly refills it with some army. Now both players, well, at least Combat X knows exactly what he's playing against. The Warp Prism might get spotted. Oh no, they do, and these Vikings are going to easily snipe it down very quickly. But Combat X didn't invest too much into that, now decides to come into the back and attack with these units. The EMP was great, prevented some storms from going off. A second storm goes off, beautiful storm to destroy some of the HP on those units. And the
oh my gosh, the storms are crazy here. Colossus getting sniped left and right. And it looks like just a huge whack of EMP storms everywhere. Where the EMPs are too much. It looks like Combat X's army gets totally cleaned up.
My goodness, the storms were incredible, but those Vikings were able to take out those Colossus so quickly, and now Combat X is struggling to regain or reproduce his army that he once had, but with the Viking count so high, I feel that he won't be able to go Colossus anymore, even though he's producing 2 at a time.
Oh man, the Vikings are now getting chased by a bunch of Stalkers, getting a couple of great shots in, but here comes the army to defend. The Stalkers will blink out, only losing 1 Stalker for about 2 Vikings.
That was a great pickup for him. He definitely needed to thin out that Viking herd, because that was exactly what was killing all of his Colossus to begin with. So good move by Combat X, but is it enough? Those Colossus are going to come out and easily be sniped if he doesn't have an answer for all that air.
Oh, a little rally point mistake here. A couple of Marines will be taken down for free by these Stalkers and Zealots, but it doesn't really matter. Alexei was making about 10 Marines at a time, and it's looking really grim for him right now.
3-3 for the Protoss is almost done. Level 3 weapons for the Terran are almost done. Meanwhile, a little bit of Zealot harass coming out at the bottom of the map, knowing that Alexei Mois is out of position. He does have to move his entire army to intercept this one Zealot just to poke in and soften everything up. Going for those gas mining units. We'll be able to get 1 SCV, maybe 2. No, the medics are back just in time to save those SCVs.
Now, with these Dark Templars moving across the map, Combat X is looking to even up the score. So a couple of DTs coming in, Observer's still spotting, and whoa, perfect scan there, catching 1 DT, catching 2 DTs. So only 1 DT is moving to the 3rd base right now.
Combat X requiring a pause, not sure if it's a lag issue or something happening at the event in Montreal, at the Mall Complex Desjardins in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. But both players are ready to go. Yeah, like you said, that scan was able to pick up those 2 DTs. But there is a DT in the 3rd base wreaking havoc, or the 4th base even, killing as many SCVs as he possibly can. The tower is going up. It could get picked off, but Combat X has not been microwaving those units anymore.
So, you know, Combat X isn't out of the game yet. Right now, he's ahead in supply versus Alexei Mois. Just because of that Protoss warp-in tech is just, you can reinforce units so fast, getting some great ghost picks-ups here. And look at that Protoss army. It is back to its full strength, maxed out with Colossus and High Templars and Zealots, and he's going to be poised to do another battle.
A level 3 armor is going up for Alexei Mois. It will be some time before that comes up, so Combat X still does retain the upgrade advantage. He's even getting his shield upgraded right now, even though EMP makes that moot.
And here comes the Ghost. They're coming in. They don't have cloaking just yet. Oh, they do have cloaking, just didn't decide to use it just yet. Getting picked off by a couple of Stalkers here, but all the Observers are down for Combat X right now. He has one coming with his army, but it's not in the position that he wants to. There's another Observer there, so I guess I'm wrong there. One Observer placed around the map.
Yeah, and now this army is going to threaten this 4th base. Combat X has been on 5 bases forever, and if this is the 4th base... Oh, these Observers are beautifully placed to prevent these Stalkers, or these Ghosts from coming up. The Stalkers are trying to shoot them down, but the rest of the army is there.
Oh, huge EMP is going up on the Colossus. Everything gets EMP. Not a single storm for Combat X there. And look at that Protoss army just crumble to the Terran firepower.
Oh my goodness, that one Archon trying to be a hero. The entire army of Combat X does go down there, but he quickly tries to resupply, brings in a bunch of Zealots to come in and probably charge lot against those snipers, those Ghosts, but apparently the Ghosts are happy to just shoot from far away. Some Vikings are going to get taken out by these Stalkers. The DPS is very high. Those Stalkers are actually able to do enough damage to those Vikings to scare them away, but the army for Alexei Moa is huge right now.
The warp-ins, though, did you see that? There was about 10 units warping in at a time, but none of those high-tech units that Combat X needs to combat this Terran army. But with the Ghost doing the EMPs, the Vikings just taking out, but oh, look at this sneaky little DT. He is sneaking into the base.
That DT is going to have a great time attacking. Oh, and one Marine does come back because he notices it. Won't be able to get there in time. He will get... Oh, even a storm in the area. Where was that from?
We totally just missed that storm drop.
There was a drop. That was wonderful play. There's not much mining happening here. Meanwhile, the 4th of Combat X is being threatened by this army. Those ghosts are in the front. They're being attacked, but they're still very much alive.
He is again blanketing the whole Protoss army. The Archon's getting morphed in right now, but will it be too much? The Ghost getting taken out, and oh my gosh, the Colossus getting taken out. Everything is just dying right now, but it looks like Protoss might hold, but with the reinforcing Terran army coming in, it's a different story.
Those EMPs are the bane of the Protoss existence. There's nothing Combat X can do to fight against that. As soon as the EMP goes down, no more storms, no more shields. Your army is cut in half of effectiveness, and all of that warp-in gets canceled, so now Combat X is on the back foot.
Archon now been morphing after getting one storm now, but there's no more AoE damage. It looks like the Zealot warp-in could be okay, but all these Archons morphing in, and this army just keeps going. The medivacs keep healing, and Terran's just gonna steamroll through this Protoss army.
Alexei Moa smells blood in the water. He's content to push forward. The Manor Mules are out! This could spell the end for Combat X. If he loses this game, he knows he has no more games to throw at Alexei Moa. Alexei Moa is looking to win 3-1 over Combat X. Combat X still fighting with everything he's got. He's lost his 4th, he's virtually lost his 3rd, and still there's Marines and Ghosts and Marauders and Medivacs and Vikings threatening his base.
Everything is just streaming across the base now. Alexei Moa can smell blood, but these Templars, they're going to try to get a little bit of revenge for the Protoss army. Nice storm there, killing a lot of Protoss units. But, a lot of Terran units there. But these gateways are going to go down, and there goes Combat X's ability to produce units.
A tremendous amount of production going down for Combat X. This is insane how much KS Alexei Moa is able to produce. A bunch of Ghosts in production, turning immediately into Archons, trying to do anything he can, even long-distance mining. He's going to get spotted, though. These poor probes had no idea what they were walking into. These Marines are going to have a great time shooting them out. And now we do see the Archons moving across the map to try to receive this enormous Alexei army.
Oh, and here comes the final few Archons, but now the Terran army is marching into the base. Forge is under attack. Templar Archive, once that goes down, there's going to be no more Archons. Then again, there's not much money to make anything anymore. Probes being pulled now. They're going to go for the last charge, but this huge Terran ball is just too much. Archons now trying to get a good surround, but the EMPs, they're just too much. A good storm there, but will it be enough? All the Archons do go down. And GG.
Combat X, GG says good luck in China and good luck indeed to Killing Spree's Alexei Moa, taking the series 3-1 over Combat X, showing an amazing ability as a Terran player. Shocked me because he went with a very similar build all the way through, but then is able to show that he has just as much versatility as any other player. So well done, Alexei Moa, and well done to Killing Spree for picking up such a great player.
Mm-hmm. And also, I gotta say, well done, well played for Combat X. You know, he had a great run here, but it was the amount of Terran. EMP's OP, says the chat. I don't know if I agree.
That EMP was definitely...
That was great EMPs.
That was the thorn in the side. That's exactly... no storms, no shields. What can you do as a Protoss player? And trying to retreat with a slow army, there's absolutely nothing you can do against a stimmed Terran force. So really good play. I mean, Canadian esports is on the rise, man. These are some top-level players. Make sure that you support these players who will be playing in China now. It'll be Hendrilisk from Toronto, Firezerg from Vancouver, KS Alexei Moa from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The 3 of those players will be representing Canada playing StarCraft in China. Please make sure you watch WC Canada for those finals. I'll try to see where those are, but you say what you want to say, Nick.
I want to say that, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I had so much fun casting this tournament here, and it's really exciting to see Canadian talent on the rise.
Indeed.
And so, you know, we are...
Oh, so my name is Jovian, Esports Canada's Jovian, and I'm joined by...
Esports Canada's Songers. You can follow us at Twitter at Your Twitter first?
At ESC Song, or
You are not
at ESC Jovian.
And I am at ESC Songers.
Yeah, so pretty easy to find us. You guys can, if you do leave us messages on our Twitter about our casting, we'd love your feedback. We'd love to know what you guys want to see more of. Esports Canada tries to promote esports in Canada as much as possible. So if there's something you guys want to see or want to know about, definitely get connected with us, and we'd love to even have you join our not-for-profit volunteer organization. What I was going to say is that WCG, the China finals, are happening. Oh, I had it. November 29th to December 2nd. So make sure you do watch and support our Canadian players, support Canadian esports, because esports is awesome.
Awesome.
And that's why we're here, to show you more esports. Anything else you want to say, Songers?
No, I think that's it. But make sure to check out all the other tournaments that are happening right now from WCG. I think the Crossfire ones are still going.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe FIFA is still going. So make sure to check those out.
And if you are in the Montreal area, you might be able to pass by the Complexe Desjardins, 150 St. Catharines, to check out these players in real life and actually talk to the WCG crew. An enormous thanks goes out to Thierry, Matthew, to Tarek and Annie, the 4 members of WCG who are bringing all this to you, doing a wonderful job moving around Canada and bringing all this esports to you. And also a huge thanks to Samsung, our sponsors, supporting esports. So support them, because we need more people supporting esports to make it big.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to Esports Canada. Thanks to our production manager, John Quinn, for doing the production, doing the observing.
To our mods in the chat.
To our mods in the chat, Tony Tran and company. And visit WCG.com to follow the tournament. And Songers, thank you so much for casting with me. I'll shake your hand, my friend.
We're shaking hands right now.
We're actually shaking hands because we're right beside each other. So thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Take care.
WCG, which began as the WCG Challenge in 2000, celebrated its 11th anniversary last year across Europe, America, and Asia. WCG, the world's best and largest game festival, has once again focused the world's attention on Busan, Korea, the birthplace of esports. The WCG 2011 Grand Final took place from December the 8th to the 11th in Busan, Korea. 600 gamers from 60 nations, 300 journalists from 43 countries, 1,300 officials, and over 40,000 visitors participated over a 4-day period in the world's largest esports festival. From over 1,300 tournament matches in 10 official categories, including the mobile category and 3 promotional categories. The Samsung Notebook Super Match, which is a big match among superstar gamers, chosen by the global online community. To various game events such as 3D games. We have applied the latest game and IT trends as the global leader in esports. 300 journalists from around the world produced over 3,195 articles and created media value of $12,532,415 within a 4-day period. WCG's online contents broadcast by Korea's OnGameNet, China's Neo TV, and Own3D TV were viewed by 36,701,846 real-time viewers. The opening of WCG was on the headlines for prominent broadcasting stations, including America's CNN, Germany's RTL and ZDF, and Korea's KBS and KNN, showcasing WCG as the world's greatest game festival. KNN, the public TV station in Busan, conducted a special 2-part live WCG special, showing to the popularity of esports in Korea. With global IT companies such as Samsung Electronics, Razer, and Nvidia as sponsors. WCG 2011 GF served as an effective marketing platform targeting young people. Adding to the global brand exposure programs with on-site banner, website, TV, programs associated with products such as official products for the tournament, mobile games, notebook supermatch, 3D games. WCG provides sponsors with effective and interactive marketing tool for gaming events. Kunshan, a picturesque city with more than 2,000 years of history, adjacent to metropolis Shanghai to the east, and the cultural city Suzhou to the west. Kunshan is the cradle of Kunshu Opera, the origin of all operas in China. The Millennium Town, Zhouzhuang, is crowned as the #1 water town in China, and crabs from Yangcheng Lake are well known at home and abroad. Kunshan is an important industrial base in mainland China, featured by a complete IT industrial chain. For 2011, total output of notebook computer in Kunshan has achieved 70 million. Kunshan also boasts a huge market for esports and great potential for esports industry. WCG is taking on new challenges for a new future. To communicate better with more gamers, we are choosing trend-leading technology and gaming solutions and preparing for greater changes to come. WCG. WCG's great adventure continues on. World Cyber Games.